There are no accidents. You didn't stumble upon this message, you summoned it. What you are hearing now is the echo of your own soul, calling itself into remembrance. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are awakening. You don't need to earn what is already yours. Life has been waiting for you to realize that you are not here to strive. You are here to know. All things begin in imagination, not as fantasy, but as truth in seed form. The world you walk in is not separate from the world within you. In fact, the outer must obey the inner. It always has, it always will. You are not here to beg for the life you desire. You are here to claim it, boldly, silently, powerfully. You were born with this authority, not given by man, not taught by the world, but etched into your being by the infinite. What you seek is already finished. It exists now, not tomorrow, not after the hard work, but now. Let go of appearances. Detach from the evidence. The world of facts only reflects your past consciousness. If you want something new, you must become it now. Feel it real, not because you're pretending, but because you know that reality is not what you see, it's what you believe. Stand in the assumption that it is already done. Live from it, speak from it, move from it, and what once seemed impossible will bend to your inner certainty. Do not ask how. That is not your concern. Ask only, who must I be to receive this? And then become that. You are not separate from your desires. The longing you feel is not lack. It's prophecy. It's evidence from another dimension that what you want is already yours. Now listen again. This message found you because you're ready. Ready to stop waiting. Ready to stop doubting. Ready to step into the life that has been yours from the beginning. Win everything, not by chasing, but by awakening. It's already done. And so it is. Nothing appears by accident. Your consciousness led you here. There are no coincidences in a world where mind is the only cause. Everything you encounter, everything that stirs something within you is not random. It is by design. And not by the design of some outside force, but by the design of your own inner world. You brought this moment into being. You drew it in, not because of effort or chance, but because something within you has already shifted. You are not discovering this message, you are remembering it. There is a divine intelligence unfolding beneath every surface, a pattern written long before you asked for the signs. And this moment, this message, is one of those signs. If it resonates with you, it's because it already belongs to you. This is your reflection. What you feel stirred inside right now is your own deeper self whispering, you're ready. Understand this? Nothing comes into your awareness that isn't already part of your vibration. You can only meet what you become a match to in consciousness. That is the sacred law of being. So if you have found this message, it's not because you stumbled into something powerful, but because you are powerful. And you're finally beginning to remember that. So many spend their lives believing that life is happening to them, that circumstances are fixed and they must adapt. But you, something in you has broken that trance. You are beginning to know, even if you can't explain it yet, that the outer world is not the master, but the servant of the inner. And in that knowing, everything changes. When the soul is ready, when the inner man begins to awaken, it sends out a quiet call, not with words, not with begging, but with intention. And that intention calls forth everything required: people, resources, insights, ideas, and sometimes a message, just like this one. You are in the middle of a divine unfolding, not because something is about to happen, but because something has already shifted. You may not see the results yet, you may still feel unsure, but the shift has occurred, the seed has been planted, and you are not waiting for your miracle, you are the miracle in motion. The self that you are now is no longer willing to be bound by the rules of limitation. That's why this appeared for you. It showed up the moment you outgrew the story you were telling yourself, the moment you decided, even quietly, that more was possible. Do not dismiss that quiet knowing within you, that voice that tells you there's more, that you are more, that you came here for something greater. That voice is not your imagination, it is your truth. You were drawn here by your own inner command, not a command of force, but of alignment. It was not desperation that brought you here, but readiness. Your deeper self knew it was time to awaken, and so you moved, perhaps without even realizing it, toward your next chapter. And now, here you are. Let that sink in. You didn't need to chase. You didn't need to prove. You simply needed to align. And that is exactly what you've done. You've aligned with a version of yourself that is no longer content to live on autopilot. You've aligned with the one who creates, who chooses, who assumes boldly and receives gracefully. You are in the right place. This is not just another video. It's a reflection of your own rising. You are remembering that you are the cause, not the effect. The author, not the reader. The master, not the victim. You are not late. You are not lost. You have arrived at the exact moment your higher self ordained. Now receive this truth fully. You are not watching this message by chance. You called it in. And now your life will never be the same. Imagination is the blueprint of all creation. Before anything appears in the world of form, it is first conceived in the unseen realm of thought and feeling. What you see with your physical eyes is only the echo of what has already occurred within. The outer world is not separate from the inner world. It is its direct outpicturing. Nothing shows up in your life that you have not in some way imagined, whether knowingly or unconsciously. Your inner world is not reacting to life, it's creating it. Every circumstance, every condition, every event that unfolds in your reality is born from the state of being you occupy within. You do not experience what you merely hope for or talk about. You experience what you truly accept as real. And this acceptance happens not in the intellect, but in the imagination. It is there, in that sacred space behind the surface of thought, where all things begin. To imagine is not to fantasize. It is not idle daydreaming. It is a spiritual act of creation. Imagination is the workshop of reality, the silent architect behind the scenes, shaping every detail of your life. The world does not impose itself on you. You project it, out of the ideas you hold and the emotions you repeatedly feel. Life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. You don't get what you want, you get who you are in consciousness. This is a truth that many struggle to accept because it demands responsibility. It asks you to turn inward rather than blame the outer world. But once this truth is accepted, it becomes the key to incredible freedom. Because if you are the cause, then you are also the solution. You can change the outer by altering the inner. There is no one to change but self. What does it mean to be something in consciousness? It means to feel it, to identify with it, to believe it, even in the absence of outer evidence. It means walking through life as though the unseen were already seen, as though the invisible were already made visible. This is not delusion, it is the very process by which reality forms. You are not waiting for the world to change, the world is waiting for you to change. Every great advancement in life, every breakthrough, every dream come true was first imagined by someone who dared to believe in what their senses could not yet confirm. This same power lives in you. It has always lived in you. The only difference between the life you desire and the life you have now is the state of consciousness you dwell in most often. Change your inner assumptions, and the outer world must conform. It has no choice. It is law. You do not need to force the world to bend to your will. You need only to enter the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to live as though your desire is already your reality. When you do this, you impress that idea upon your subconscious, and it must express. The how, the when, the path it takes, that is not your concern. Your only task is to embody the state of the person who already has what they once desired. You are always imagining. Every moment of the day you are creating through the thoughts you accept and the feelings you allow to dwell within. The question is not whether you're imagining, but whether you're imagining consciously. Most people create by default. They react, they fear, they dwell in lack, and life reflects that back to them perfectly. But you are awakening to a greater truth. You are realizing that your imagination is not something to be dismissed or ignored. It is the key to the kingdom. Begin now to imagine deliberately. Do not wait. See yourself as you wish to be, not as you currently are. Feel it real. Let it soak into your being until it becomes your new normal. And then watch the world around you shift, not because you forced it, but because you became it. Your world is the mirror of your inner state. Change the state, and you change the reflection. Imagination is not just the beginning of creation, it is the whole of it. To win everything, you must surrender everything, but only in form, not in faith. This is the paradox that few understand, and even fewer embody. The world teaches striving, grasping, chasing outcomes with anxious energy. But the deeper truth, the truth known by those who create effortlessly, is that surrender is not weakness, it is power. Not the power to dominate, but the power to allow. To trust the unseen, to release the grip of control, and let the greater current of life carry you exactly where you need to be. You are not meant to force your way into alignment, you are meant to surrender into it. This does not mean abandoning your desire, quite the opposite. It means holding your desire as sacred, so sacred, in fact, that you no longer try to manipulate its arrival. You no longer question whether it is possible or beg for it to come. Instead, you rest in the knowing that it is already yours in the realm where all things begin, consciousness. Give up control, not your desire. Control belongs to the limited self, the part of you that believes it must push, fight, strive. But desire is from the deeper self. Desire is divine. It is the echo of a future reality calling you into being. You are not here to extinguish desire. You are here to awaken to the truth that your desire is already fulfilled. That is why it was given to you, not to taunt or test, but to guide you into the version of yourself that already has it. This is the great secret. You are not to chase, you are to assume and receive. Chase implies separation. It implies that what you want is outside of you, running ahead of you, always out of reach. But assumption pulls the future into the now. It says, I am already that which I seek. It is not arrogance, it is spiritual alignment. When you assume the state of the one who already has what they desire, you cease to look for signs, you become the sign. Receiving is not passive, it is profoundly active, but in an inner sense. It is an act of faith, of expectancy, of deep inner conviction. When you enter the state of receiving, you are not begging the universe, you are communing with it. You are saying, I know what is mine, I know it is finished. I need do nothing but prepare myself to receive it. This is surrender, not to the absence of the thing, but to the certainty of it. This surrender will strip away the need to prove, to impress, to hustle for your worthiness, because once you know it is already yours, the outer noise becomes irrelevant. You no longer need to convince the world. You no longer even need to convince yourself. You simply rest in the feeling that it is done. Your job is not to figure out the path. Your job is to remain faithful to the state. Let the path reveal itself. Let the doors open naturally. When you release the compulsion to control every detail, you make space for life to move. You make space for the unseen to become seen. You will find that the less you chase, the more comes to you. Not because you are idle, but because you are in harmony. When you stop acting from fear and start moving from faith, everything changes. You stop leaking energy. You stop doubting the process. You stop shrinking your vision to fit your circumstances. Surrender is not the end of desire, it is the beginning of manifestation. It is the moment you stop trying to make it happen and start living as though it already has. That shift quiet, internal, unseen by the world, is the axis upon which everything turns. So let go of control. Hold your desire in faith. Assume its reality and receive what is already yours. This is how you win everything. Feeling is the secret signal that aligns you with your desired reality. It is the language of creation, the invisible vibration that speaks louder than words and moves the unseen forces of life into perfect formation. Thought alone is not enough. Intention alone is not enough. It is feeling, pure, sustained, and alive, that impresses itself upon the deeper mind and molds the shape of your world. You are not drawing things to you by wishful thinking or mechanical repetition. You are attracting what you are in feeling. What you feel consistently becomes the atmosphere you live in, and that atmosphere becomes your life. You may speak abundance, but if you feel lack, it is lack that will respond. You may affirm love, but if you feel unworthy, it is rejection that will echo. The law is simple. The feeling dominates. This is not to be feared, but honored. It means that you hold the key to your experience not in effort, but in emotion. The inner climate you nurture is the seedbed of your external conditions. When you feel deeply, you are planting. When you feel consistently, you are watering. And when that feeling aligns with your desired state, you will reap its fruits, not because you forced it, but because you allowed yourself to become it. Most people are asleep to their own emotional power. They react, complain, and try to think their way into change while carrying feelings that contradict their goals. They attempt to manifest joy while living in resentment. They want peace while feeding anxiety. But life does not respond to what you say you want. It responds to what you feel to be true. Feeling is not merely an effect, it is a cause. It is not just a reaction to life, it is the initiator of it. That is why the moment you change your feeling, you begin to change your world. The shift may not be immediate to the senses, but it is instant in the unseen. A new feeling is a new frequency, and everything on that frequency begins to find its way to you. The great question is not what do I want, but what am I feeling now? Because what you are feeling now is the vibration you are emitting, the invitation you are sending out. Every moment you are being answered, not according to your wishes, but according to your dominant feeling. You are always manifesting, whether consciously or not. The key is to do it deliberately. To feel your wish fulfilled is to live from the end. It is to enter the state of already having. This is not pretending, it is becoming. It is not about faking joy or forcing gratitude. It is about sinking into the reality of your desire with such depth that the line between what is imagined and what is real begins to blur. And in that blur, the bridge of events begins to form. You must teach yourself to feel on purpose. This is the real inner work, not struggling against conditions, but mastering your internal world. You begin by quieting the mind and asking yourself, how would I feel if it were already done? And then you let that feeling grow. You water it with attention. You nourish it with repetition. You return to it again and again until it becomes natural, until it becomes familiar, until it becomes who you are. Do not wait for the world to give you a reason to feel different. You are the cause, not the effect. When you choose your feeling before the evidence must eventually appear. This is law. The world is a mirror, not a master. It reflects you. And feeling is what you reflect. So feel your way there, not with force, but with faith. Not with effort, but with surrender. Feel it real, feel it often, and feel it deeply. What you feel becomes what you live. Time is an illusion. What you seek is already finished. You believe you are waiting for your manifestation when in truth it has been waiting for you. The moment you desired it, it was completed in the invisible. In the eternal realm beyond the senses, nothing is becoming, everything simply is. There, the future is not ahead of you, it is within you, already alive in consciousness, already shaped in spirit, already yours. But the world of appearances clouds this truth. It seduces you into believing in delays, separations, and conditions. It whispers that you are not yet there, that you must earn it, wait for it, strive for it. But what is appearing as a delay is not a delay in reality, it is a delay in awareness. You are not waiting for the thing, you are being prepared to see it, to hold it, to become equal to it. This is the deeper meaning of manifestation, not calling something forth, but waking up to what is already yours. There is nothing to chase, there is only something to remember. You are not a beggar on the path, you are the author of the journey. The storyline of your life has already been written, and the ending you desire is part of it, not because of luck, not because of coincidence, but because you imagined it, and every imagined scene contains its own fulfillment. Time is the curtain behind which your answered prayer waits. It is not a barrier, but a veil. It is not your enemy, it is the space in which your faith is tested and your identity is shaped. The delay you perceive is not in the thing, but in your assumption of it. The longer you look to the outer for proof, the longer you remain blind to the truth within. You must stop measuring by the clock and start measuring by the feeling. Time has no power over the one who lives in the state of the wish fulfilled. That state is timeless, ageless, and always now. When you enter it fully, when you feel the reality of what you desire as if it were already so, you collapse the illusion of waiting. You step out of the world of becoming and into the world of being. This is the sacred art of assumption. You do not wait for life to show you, you show life what you already know. You do not hope to see it, you see it with the eyes of spirit, and then it must be seen with the eyes of flesh. What you assume to be true long enough, deeply enough, and consistently enough will harden into fact. Your job is not to question the timing, but to stay faithful to the state. All things are working to bring you face to face with the version of you who already has what you desire. That version is not separate from you, it is you on another level of awareness. And time is not the bridge, assumption is. So stop asking when. Start assuming now. Time is only needed for those who are still doubting. But for the one who knows, time becomes irrelevant. The end is seen from the beginning. The goal is already reached in the imagination. The victory is already felt before the battle ever begins. If you could truly see beyond appearances, you would know that your manifestation is already complete. The image you hold, the scene you replay, the desire you carry, it all exists now. Alive in the unseen, waiting not for time to pass, but for your consciousness to align. That is all. That is everything. So stop looking at clocks and calendars, begin living from the inside out. Speak, walk, think, and feel from the end. Because the end is not coming, it is already here. And the more you accept that, the faster the world will reflect it. There is no waiting, there is only waking. Wake up, it's already yours. You are not separate from your desires, they are a prophecy of your future. They do not come to mock you or to remind you of your lack. They arise from the deeper self, the divine imagination within you, revealing what is already yours in spirit. That which you long for is not distant or uncertain. It is a spiritual fact trying to emerge through you, shaped in love, delivered by grace, and clothed in your willingness to receive. Desire is not weakness, it is not fantasy, it is communication. It is the whisper of your higher self calling you into remembrance of what has always been yours. You do not invent desires, you uncover them. They were placed within you, coded in your being like seeds in the earth, waiting for the right moment of belief to bloom into form. To desire is to be shown. Every longing carries the shape of its fulfillment. And every true desire is a divine invitation to embody what is already complete in the unseen. The problem arises only when you see the desire as separate from yourself, when you treat it as something to chase instead of something to assume. You cannot chase what is already within you. You cannot beg for what you were born to express. The key is not pursuit, but permission. Permission to believe it is done. When you assume the wish fulfilled, you are no longer asking life for anything. You are allowing life to show you what has already been given. To accept your desire as done is not to pretend, it is to align. It is to harmonize your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the reality your inner being already knows to be true. You become the vessel for the thing to appear. You become the atmosphere through which the invisible is made visible. This is why desire must be honored. Not worshipped, not doubted, but honored as sacred revelation. It is the evidence that a greater version of you is asking to come forward. And that version of you does not need to force, to manipulate, or to struggle. It simply needs to wake up to its identity. You do not need more time. You do not need more science. You need only to remember who you are. When you identify with a version of you that already has what you desire, you call it forth by being it. That is the secret. Not to get it, but to be it, to feel it, to walk in it now. The longer you see the desire as far away, the longer you delay its arrival. Not because the universe is cruel, but because it cannot deliver to someone who doesn't believe they are home. The package is already sent, the path is already made, but you must be there to receive it, not physically, but in consciousness. And the way you arrive is simple. You believe, you assume, you feel, you embody. You take your desires seriously, not with desperation, but with quiet certainty. You do not need to convince others. You do not need their validation. Your conviction alone is enough to make it real. Desire is not meant to cause suffering. It is the voice of your soul pointing to what is possible. But possibilities must be claimed. You must say yes to the life you were born to live, not someday, not when conditions are perfect, but now. Within, where all things begin. So when the desire rises, do not question it. Do not ask how or when. Simply say yes. Let your mind rest in the assurance that what you seek is already part of you. And from that place of union, let it move. Let it unfold. Let it come, not as a stranger, but as something returning home. You are not separate from your desires. They are your future, already written. Say yes, feel it done, and allow it to be. And so, let this be your awakening. Everything you've heard, everything you felt, it wasn't coincidence, it was confirmation. You were led here because the truth is ready to rise in you. No more begging, no more waiting, no more doubting. What you seek is already yours. The desire you carry is not a maybe. It is a must. It is sacred, and it's finished. You are the creator, the one who imagines, assumes, and becomes. You are not at the mercy of time nor bound by circumstance. You are the operant power. Walk as the one who already has it. Feel from the end. Live from the truth that your world is only and always a reflection of your state. So breathe. Accept it, align with it, it's done. Thank you for listening, thank you for believing, and most of all, thank you for remembering who you are.